Hey everybody out there, this is Seto Kaiba from your Yu-Gi-Oh! Chat channel. And today guys, one of my fellow subscribers out there, actually emailed me a question. And pretty much in the question they asked me, do I feel like that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is getting cheaper, just like you see in the title? Is Yu-Gi-Oh! Getting cheaper over time? Now there's a couple things you need to keep in mind when trying to decide, is Yu-Gi-Oh! Getting cheaper overall. So we're trying to look here at the big picture right now. That's what I'm looking at. You have to keep a couple of things in mind. Number one, it's simple supply and demand. Number two, player hype. The player base determines the price of cards, and player hype about certain cards can drive prices of cards up. So let's look at some different examples of hype. With the release of certain cards, other older cards can go up. With the release of Angeli, the announcement of Angeli that is, Madolches went up in price. Even though Madolches were a good deck to begin with, the hype of Angeli has made Madolches more expensive because the player base thinks that it's more busted, more broken, etc., etc., etc. Then there's the other type of hype you have, or where someone plays a certain card in their deck, a popular player, a person people look to as, I guess you could say, a Yu-Gi-Oh! Master, if that's a thing, and when they use a certain card, that card can automatically go up in price. A perfect example of this is Mystical Raft Panel. If you guys remember a couple months ago, that card was really popular because somebody used it in their deck and topped with it. So Mystical Raft Panel, which was an old card that was like $3 or $4, jumped up in price to be like a $25, $30 card overnight. So just because of that type of hype, that can happen. Then there are some cards that fall into this category of hype. For example, Big Eye. People will actually remember when Big Eye was originally released, it really was not an expensive card. I picked up a whole bunch of Big Eyes because I was like, this is a good card. I could use it for my Dark Magician deck and things of that nature. And I picked like one or two Big Eyes up for, I think it was like $5, $6 total, because it really wasn't a popular card at the time. There was no real deck out there that abused level 7s. Then Mermails start using Big Eye, then Dragons start using Big Eye, and the rest is history to all of you guys out there. So there's different types of hype, but hype overall affects the prices of Yu-Gi-Oh! Reprints affect the prices of Yu-Gi-Oh! As well, and overall I believe due to the massive reprints we do get in the Yu-Gi-Oh! In Yu-Gi-Oh! You have to remember that a long time ago, when Yu-Gi-Oh! First got started, reprints weren't really a big thing. You got reprints of packs and tins, and then you would get one tin promo. That was all you got. So this went all the way back to I think like 4 or 5 years ago. Then you started getting tin promos. So instead of just getting one tin promo, for example, you used to get just, if you bought a Black Rose tin, you would just get the Black Rose card and you would get some other packs with it. Now, say you get a, for example here, you got the Blaster tin. If you got the Blaster tin, then you get things, you get all the packs, and then you get things like Gimmick Puppet of Strings, Brotherhood of the Fire Fist, etc., etc., etc. So you get more good reprints, quote unquote. So Konami has been nice. They don't have to do reprints for us, but they do reprints for us. And it drives the overall price of some certain cards down, like Gaga Cowboy, Black Ship of Corn, Diamond Direwolf, etc., etc., etc. So overall, I do feel that the price of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is going down, as we look at the big picture. There are exceptions to the rule. Tier 1 decks, I guess more popular decks, they're going to be more expensive because there's more demand for those cards, if you understand what I'm saying there. So that is my take. I think overall that Yu-Gi-Oh! Has gotten cheaper over the course of the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Since I've been playing it. Considering that reprints have become more of a thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! You got battle packs now, you got 10 promos, there's a whole, and the list goes on and on of different type of reprint cards they get now. So overall, I do feel that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is getting cheaper overall, but there are certain things that will stay expensive in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like shooting Quasar Dragon till they get a reprint. But guys, tell me, what do you think? Do you think Yu-Gi-Oh! Overall is getting cheaper as time has gone on in the game? If you're an old school player, I think you may agree with me here that it used to be more expensive. A perfect example, and another perfect example is when BLS, Chaos, Emperor Dragon, and DMOC came out. Those cards were astronomically expensive. I remember some of those cards getting sold for 150, 200 bucks. Another good example, things like Gold Sarcophagus, when Gold Sarcophagus was out. I remember seeing some of those prices like 100 to 200 bucks for Gold Sarcophaguses way back in the day, over a decade ago, I think it was. So, because of reprints, prices have gone down, and I feel that overall Yu-Gi-Oh! Is getting cheaper. That's my final, that's what I've come to a conclusion is. Over time, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has gotten cheaper, and it has continued to get cheaper, even though player hype does play a big part in it. So guys, tell me, do you feel Yu-Gi-Oh! As a whole, so we're looking at the big picture here, do you think it's getting cheaper? And I look forward to seeing your comments, guys, on this. Till next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling, and I'll see you guys next time. Seto Kaiba, I'm out of here, guys.